3 months after taking over the reins of power, President William Ruto signed various new laws aimed at helping him implement his manifesto. Tonight, we look into the bills signed by the head of state, top among them the Finance Act.
Mimi nataka niwaambie hii mafuta inaongezwa usiku na mchana. Mimi nataka niwaeleze ya kwamba these people don't understand the damage they are doing to the people and the economy of Kenya. Kwa hii taxes wanaongeza usiku na mchana. Na mimi nataka niwaulize watu wa hapa Manga, tafadhali, ukiona tumesimama hapa mbele yenu, tunawaambia ya kwamba tutengeneze hiyo serikali inakuja ambayo inaelewa lugha ya mwananchi wa kawaida. Watu wa Manga, mko tayari?
Those were the sentiments of President William Ruto at the time the deputy president taking a swipe at his former boss, retired President Uhuru Kenyatta, over the increase in fuel prices. At that time, vouching for his coalition to be voted in, a move that would see him move to the highest office in the land. 3 months later,
I, William Samoei Ruto,
Ruto took oath of office as Kenya's 5th president, with millions of Kenyans hopeful that things would take a positive turn. With the head of state in a race against time to deliver on his mandate, unlike previous occasions, this year's finance bill seemed to cause a lot of uproar as various quarters raised concerns regarding certain sections.
The bill is a promissory note to strangle and suffocate the hustlers from whose necks Ruto promised to remove the rope.
The National Assembly Finance Committee, led by Molo MP Kimani Kuria, was tasked with ensuring the bill sees the light of day, with various proposals causing uproar, top among them the doubling of the VAT on petroleum products from 8 to 16% and the now controversial housing levy. The Kimani Kuria-led committee held public participations with key stakeholders across various sectors submitting their recommendations before the bill was finally tabled in Parliament. Despite the opposition the bill faced, President William Ruto remained steadfast in defending his proposals, at some point outrightly threatening MPs who will vote against the bill.
Kila mjumbe ajulikane amepiga kura wapi. Mimi nangojea mbunge mwenye anaenda kupiga kura ati kupinga mpango ya serikali kuwapatia hawa vijana ambao waliwapigia kura ati ajira. I am waiting.
Various legislators, more so those allied to the opposition, and also including some from the ruling coalition, still expressed their dissatisfaction with the bill.
Mr. Speaker, that 16% is the poison chalice that is in this finance bill, Mr. Speaker. Once we implement the 16% on fuel levy, everything else will go up in this country, Mr. Speaker.
Whatever Kenyans were raising issues with, we also have an opportunity through proposing further amendments, and I want to urge my fellow members of parliament that we should not throw the baby with bathwater, but let us improve this document because the government must continue to function.
Cabinet secretaries also found themselves embroiled rooting for the finance bill.
Afya itakuja chini vipi katika hii finance bill ambayo wanaongelea? Mimi kama waziri nimesema bei ya kununua vitu za kutengeneza madawa iko pale, imeshukishwa. Bei ya kutengeneza vaccines iko kwenye finance bill, imeshukishwa.
When the time of reckoning came, despite the opposition it faced, 176 MPs voted in support of the finance bill.
For the welfare of the society and the just government of the people of Kenya, I rise to oppose.
Honorable Speaker, with those very few remarks, I support.
The results of the division are as follows. Total number of votes cast, 257. The ayes, 176. The nays, 81. Abstentions, nil. Of the vote is that the ayes have it. All the honorable members, you may be upstanding. Can the bars be drawn?
with millions of Kenyans voicing their frustration led by Azimio One Kenya coalition.
The Ruto regime ensured that the wishes of the people were ignored. Instead, they retained punitive taxes on fuel, on housing, on turnover, on salaries, among others. This is like showing the people of Kenya the contempt card. The people can lament, plead, pray, and even picket to be listened to and still be ignored. This has never been seen in our country before.
After being approved by the National Assembly, various activists filed a petition in courts voicing their frustrations with the housing levy, despite being branded as enemies of development by President Ruto.
Hawa wenye wako na payslip watoe kitu kidogo tupange hata wewe uko na payslip. Alafu unakubali anakuja hapa anakudanganya kwa sababu yeye hataki kutoa kwa payslip, anataka wewe uendelee kuhangaika barabarani. Bana wacheni hiyo nani. Bana. Ukitoa 3% ya pesa yetu ndio hata nyinyi mkue na kazi, iko makosa? Wacheni mchezo hiyo bwana, hapana. No.
The courts, in a ruling by Justice David Majanja, raised key questions regarding the housing levy, with a further ruling set for 2024.
Section 84 of the Finance Act violates Article 10, 2BC, 27 and 201 of the Constitution and is therefore null and void. That an order is granted prohibiting the respondents from collecting, charging or otherwise the charge known as the Affordable Housing Act on the basis of the Section 84, and all prayers on the consolidated petition not specifically granted are dismissed, and this being a matter of public interest litigation, each party shall bear its own costs.
Apart from the finance bill, the head of state during the campaigns had promised a draft of changes in the health sector, and true to his promise, after being approved by the National Assembly, President William Ruto signed 4 new acts in the health sector. Acts that will see the National Health Insurance Fund replaced with the Social Health Insurance Fund.
The Facility Improvement Fund Act will counter the decrease in funding for public health facilities which often lack the requisite levels of investment, leading to a lack of autonomy, fragmented services, and poor outcomes. This law will entrench financial and managerial autonomy to enhance decision-making, efficiency, and community involvement in the management of facilities. The Digital Health Act will streamline the adoption of technology in the health sector, enabling improved data sharing and resource utilization. This law will address the existing legal and regulatory gaps in the framework for e-health ecosystem and its data life cycle, enabling the development of standards for the provision of mobile health, telemedicine, and e-learning.
According to the head of state, the new acts will streamline the health sector, as well as ensure all Kenyans get access to better healthcare.
The laws we have enacted now provide a framework in the Emergency, Chronic and Critical Illness Fund that will liberate the people of Kenya from the burden of catastrophic hospital bills in the treatment of conditions like cancer, diabetes, hypertension, and other critical and chronic conditions.
However, stakeholders in the health sector led by KMPDU strongly opposed the new acts.
Social Health Insurance Act is unconstitutional in the sense that it denies people access to health care, both the publics and even the civil servants, and that's why we have proceeded to court on this particular basis. It demands that if you are in the informal sector, you must pay upfront annually annual contribution, which is discriminatory if you are salaried, and the many people who will not be able to pay that will be facing penalties that are necessary. It also contravenes the agreement that was signed between the government and the civil servants unions, that there will be comprehensive cover to which they're paying, not a favor, to which they're paying. So we are seeing that that is also contravening the Constitution.
The president still maintained and up to date that the acts will oversee reforms in the health sector, with the elephant in the room being doing away with issues corruption through the National Health Insurance Fund.
To enhance efficiency and eliminate pilferage in the healthcare system, the new digital law will underpin the digitization of the entire health service delivery framework.
The head of state also signed into law the new NG-CDF Act, proposed by both leaders of majority and minority in the National Assembly. The new law will increase the allocation for bursaries, as well as facilitate the introduction of a 3% allocation to the NG-CDF, set to be used in paying for utilities, costs and maintenance of the constituency digital hubs, which are key in enabling the youth acquire technological skills. The Act also allocates a maximum of 5% of the funds per constituency to climate change mitigation, including grassroots sensitization and tree seedling production.
Attending the very urgent and basic matter of our youth, the youth bulge, and making sure that we provide opportunities for people to engage in meaningful, deliberate opportunities to work. The ICT hubs that will come as a result of this intervention will give millions of young people across Kenya an opportunity in the digital space.
President William Ruto also assented the privatization bill of 2023. The bill, sponsored by Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah on behalf of the government, entails a revised regulatory framework for the privatization of public entities, aiming to improve the efficiency of Kenya's productive resources. With Ruto's signature now appended to the bill, the requirement for parliamentary approval of the members of the Privatization Authority, which will now be established, has been scrapped. With President Ruto assenting various bills into law in a bid to ensure he delivers on his campaign pledges, the question remains, will Kenya's fifth president realize his dream of transforming the country? Ian Keitani, Lukep TV.
Well, on that note, we of course wrap up this bulletin, but the question remains, will President